entitled Organizing Your Speech. It's from the old school Competent Communication Manual, but instead of reading the formal objectives, I'm going to read the objectives that Harvey has for himself, and there's 3 of them. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. Number 1, deliver a clear message with supporting material. Number 2, use appropriate transitions. Number 3, create a strong opening and closing. Harvey, go get 'em.
Thank you, Rob. Actually, the title, sorry for the confusion, is The
With the
Professor
owner
and
of
the Madman.
a gray Jeep Cherokee with a license plate number 551SH3, please come to the front desk. Thank you.
The Professor and the Madman is a book I just recently read, which tells the story of the development of the Oxford English Dictionary. The French have the Académie Française, which is the authority on the French language, but there was no equivalent in the English language. The Académie Française was established in 1635 by Cardinal Richelieu. But a group of academics in England formed a committee to begin work on a definitive dictionary of the English language. This was in 1871. The work took 71 years, and the major influence on actually culminating the dictionary was a Professor James Murray, the professor of the title. And the approach was essentially what we call crowdsourcing today. They had volunteers from all over the English world who were readers. They would read through literature, picking out words, and then sending in citations to a scriptorium at Oxford University. They would put down the word, the citation of where the word came from, and the sentence in which it was used. And the scriptorium would then put them into pigeonholes, so all the responses for a given word were in one place. And over time, one of the most prolific contributors was a Dr. William Minor. And Professor Murray became curious as to who this man was. All he had was a cryptic address in England somewhere. And when he finally located the man, he found he was an inmate in an insane asylum. He had been an American doctor who served during the Civil War in the Union Army. And then he was commanded to brand a D, a letter D on the cheek of a deserter, a recent Irish immigrant. This so traumatized him that he began to hallucinate that Irish men were breaking into his room at night and abusing him. And eventually he chased one of what he thought was one of his abusers into the street, and he shot an innocent bystander to death, and was then found to be clearly insane and put in an institution. But what really interested me was not so much the production of the dictionary, but the contrast that was taken by the Académie Française and the Oxford English Dictionary. Académie Française was an authoritative dictionary of the French language, but it was also a regulatory agency. It was going to regulate how French was used. I worked for a multinational company for many years, which was headquartered in Montreal, Quebec. And at that time, the Quebecois were very concerned about the French language and keeping it pure. And they passed legislation requiring that all signage be in French. And we were all given dictionaries to provide French equivalents to the English words that will be used in business by the French-speaking employees. And some of these words, for example, they suggested crediteurs instead of le accounts payable, or créances instead of receivables. Whereas the Oxford English Dictionary was organic and is organic. It's still there online, and it still collects words. Over scores of new words are added to it every year. And now, English language is changing faster than ever. The effect of the internet is profound. And the Oxford English Dictionary has to keep up with that. Who here can translate the following? It was a headline in an article I read. The Republican senators on the committee were doxxed in Wikipedia. Well, I read that and I said, what? And I looked up the word doxxed, and it turns out that what it means is that their public information was released on Wikipedia. So words like that, nouns used as verbs, verbs used as nouns, they say, we have to office more efficiently. Or we have to, if you're losing weight, you have to journal your weight every day. So, and also the verbs are used as nouns. For example, I have the solve to the problem. So it seems to me that the English language is now going to change profoundly, and the dictionary will have to keep up with that. And there's no use resisting, because eventually the language will change and perhaps become as different as Shakespearean English is to us today in the future. Thank you.